Naked Tweety Bird always amuses me. He looks so adorable in his early version. Not as adorable as Yellow Tweety, but the beige Tweety with the giant yellow feet, he definitely looks like a little fledgling. And this is the Tweety we get in A Gruesome Twosome. This is a 1945 Warner Brothers cartoon directed by Robert Clampett and written by Warren Foster. Mel Blanc, of course, voices Tweety and our two tomcats, and Sara Berner voices the girl cat, who is called Girl Cat. And these two cats are both kind of fighting over this one female cat, and I love the design of her. I think she's gorgeous. And they're both kind of trying to get her affection and her attention. And she says, I will give my love and attention to whoever brings me a bird. And the bird is Tweety, and these two cats start out by trying to get at this bird, and obviously Tweety gives as good as he gets and does everything he can to make sure that he doesn't get captured and fed to the cat. I'm not going to say what happens, of course, but the narrative was interesting enough. It's a basic concept of cats trying to get a bird, and it works very well. Having two cats against one bird is always interesting, because if Sylvester has trouble getting Tweety, will two cats have better luck? Or is Tweety smart enough? I won't say, of course, but I liked it. What felt different to me is the animation, not so much the style. The colours were all very recognisable for Warner Brothers cartoons. The foregrounds were sharper than the backgrounds, all very classic Warner Brothers things. But the cat, one cat had this giant red nose, obviously going for comedic effect. One being a caricature of Jimmy Durante, which didn't mean anything to me until I kind of googled that and did a comparison and thought, okay, so I can see the red nose, I can see the size of it, I can see what you're going for. But if you're not, like, if like me, you're not really aware of Jimmy Durante's work, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is it Durante? Please feel free to correct me. But that to me just was lost on me. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's an in-joke, because at the time that would have been, I assume, something everybody was recognising. But at the same time, it was lost on me, so I just thought it was odd. Also, the horse, it's not an actual horse, but something with a horse happens, and I thought it was a very weird choice. It worked, but on paper, if you'd said this is what it's about, I would have said that's not going to work. So I was pleasantly surprised. I love the colour of the horse, really love the colour of it. It was interesting. There's one point where Tweety looks at the camera, or what would be the camera, and his head is massive compared to the size of his body. And there were just other little things here and there where the animation just isn't quite what I was expecting, and it's a little bit awkward. But it's not bad as such, it's just Warner Bros. Were still refining their styles quite a lot at this point. Although 1945, some of the other characters were definitely well known and well established, so it's not as rough around the edges as some of their other cartoons, but there were definitely things that stood out to me as being not quite polished. Nevertheless, I liked it. I thought A Gruesome Twosome worked very well. It was a fun concept, well animated, if slightly different to a lot of Warner Brothers cartoons. It's definitely one that I would recommend.